Hey y'all, this is Crystal. Welcome back to the channel. Just wanted to do a quick little book chat video today. I have just finished She Said Destroy by Nadia Bulkin, and I want to chat about it. So this book was part of my kind of 12 book challenge thing that I sort of hopped on that bandwagon for. I saw it over on Instagram where you had 12 people recommend you 12 books and you work your way through them, this year. So this was one that was recommended to me, and yeah, it worked very well. I loved this collection of short stories. Now this is one I had heard of. It had been on my radar, but you know how it is. You forget about things, and there it sits on your want to read on your Goodreads or whatever, and you don't really think about it much anymore. So I'm so glad that it was recommended to me again and that I could read it. So we've got 13 stories here, and they are all okay. So I loved this collection. First of all, one of them now, I've just finished it, so I might be just riding the high, but I definitely have catapulted into, I think, some favorite short story collection for me, sort of ever. I loved all of these stories. So, and I just, right here on the front, I think it sums it up quite well. Bulkin serves up cerebral horror with plenty of bite. And yeah, that pretty much sums it up if you need a sentence sum up of this collection. But overall, we've got a really nice broad variety of like tone, theme. They don't really fit necessarily any one genre. They kind of, there's a toe dipped into a many genres here. The writing is absolutely stellar, very solid. She just puts these words on a page in a way that you just have to kind of pause for a minute, read that sentence, maybe read it again, and just kind of like, oh, that's good stuff, before moving on. You know what I mean? What else to say? A lot of these are very strange and weird, so if you're like me and love a good strange and weird, I think you would definitely connect with a lot of these also. And yeah, so I just want to go really quickly through each of the stories. I've kind of made a couple sentence note about each story to let you kind of get you a feel of them, and just see if you're interested in picking it up. So the first one is Intertropical Convergence Stone, and this is about kind of political power. We're following a general who is kind of risen to power. And it really is asked the question of how much are you willing to sacrifice for things to feel better, and how much is asking too much sacrifice, like in the case of the general, to be loved. Is it ever too much? I don't know. We'll see. The next one is The 5 Stages of Grief. I loved this one. The dead here turn into what they call bleeders. It's sort of this violent ghost kind of thing. And we have a family here who's really struggling to let go of one of their own that has passed away. And is she slowly turning into a bleeder? I don't know. This one was very emotional, of course, about grief and loss, and that not wanting to let go. It was really good. The next one, And When She Was Bad. This is a sort of twist on a final girl story. In here, the final girl, who is referenced as the final girl throughout the whole story, it catches the end of her story. So she has defeated the monster. The monster's not dead, but it's wounded, and she's like trying to take it back to town, basically to have it serve its comeuppance, or whatever. But then she's sort of thinking about, gosh, why was she the final girl? Because she's always the good girl and didn't get into trouble and gets good grades and make the good decisions and stuff. And maybe she wanted to be the bad girl. The next one, only unity saves the damned. Okay, this one was scary. We've got a group of friends here who have basically staged a sighting, like a video of a sighting, what they call Raggedy Annie's witching tree, which is sort of this local lore of this, ghost woman, witch, person. Like a lot of small towns will have this kind of local lore, right? And so they kind of staged this video. It goes viral, and they're like, "Oh, look what we've done! It's so cool." But, maybe something is actually out there lurking in the woods. And maybe they don't like to, be made fun of or be made a game of. The next one, Pugil Bone. Okay, this one was strange and I loved it. Very unnerving. We have some sort of world where there's people that choose to live in these like underground warrens is what they're called, and they live sort of like a communally, and there are people that live above ground too and sort of look down on the people that live in warrens. Maybe there's something else though that lives down there in the underground, or maybe not. I don't know. Is this a commentary on mental health or monsters? I don't know. It's a good one. All right, the next one, Red Goat, Black Goat. Okay, this one was freaky. We have, this woman that goes to be a babysitter for this family. But they already have sort of a, a nanny babysitter thing called the goat nurse. This goat nurse is like, I don't know, some sort of hybrid type entity, I'll say. This had terrifying imagery and was, absolutely terrifying. This one was a scary one for me. I don't know if this was like more of a cultural type of story. I know Nadia Bulkin has Indonesian roots. I don't know if that stems from that area of the world or not, but that was a good one. 7 Minutes in Heaven. Okay, this one wasn't I was confused about. My notes say confusing, still very well written. We'll need a reread. So that's what I'm going to say about that one. There's a ghost town involved in this one. I'm not sure what else to say about that one. It was good, but I'm still a little confused about it. The next one is Girl, I Love You. This is a world where ghosts are really sort of normal and kind of ghosts and spirits and things, and they almost sort of coexist in a way with the living. We follow a young girl, and her best friend is bullied just horrifically, just terribly. And so she is looking for help, from a spirit. What can she do to get back at this like mean girl that's just really just awful. There's awful things to her, and it's kind of how far would you go to really just like be done, like, you know what I mean, be done with this abuse, right? There was a line in here that I flagged that said, "My brain had floated out through my eyes." Isn't that good? Or the next one is called Endless Life. This one is a sort of a ghost story, and a general has died in a hotel, but so does a maid, and the maid has left lingering as a ghost. And people want to visit this hotel because of the general. He was like, I guess, pretty infamous and was like abusive and killed lots of people in this country and all that sort of thing. And so people want to visit this hotel for the ghosts of the general, but what they're getting is this maid, and this it's very good. I don't say too much more about that one. It's very good. Next is Violet is the Color of Your Energy. Another really strange one, but I loved it. We've got a young family that kind of moved from the city, and they're trying, their hand at farm life and, starting over, that kind of thing. And they are growing corn. One night they see this like sort of violet flash of light and hear this sort of strange sound, and they're like, gosh, what was this? And they don't know. But soon, like, the corn grows very strange, and it doesn't taste right. And the husband starts to act very off and violent towards his family, and just paranoid and like I said, violent towards his family. And perhaps it has to do with that violent light. I don't know. Ooh, that was a good one. The next is truth is order, and order is truth. This is another sort of, what I'm guessing is maybe a cultural type story, but there's also some sort of a wink and a nod to Lovecraft. There is a mention of Cthulhu in here, and we've got mentions like Dagon and Hydra. So this sort of old gods, right? And then we have this sort of family that has ruled this particular land, and with the aid of the gods, but they have been overthrown. And so as the daughter of the rulers that have been overthrown, as she's kind of making her way with a small following, she's discovering all of this, and how should she move forward, right? All right, the last story in this book, and possibly my favorite. No, this isn't the last one. There's two more. I'm sorry. The next to last one is Absolute Zero. Another really unnerving, strange story. In here, there's this thing called a stag man, which is another sort of hybrid, kind of like human with deer and like antlers. So much like this goat woman from the previous story, this sort of hybrid type of being. And this stag man like lives in the woods, so it's like also like a creepy woods kind of story. We follow a guy named Max, who he's a kid, but we see him grow up and his connection to this stag man and what that means for him. And it was a good one. Now the last one, possibly my favorite, is No Gods, No Masters. I loved this story. We follow a family that has this connection to a demon who they call the Juggernaut. And it's been generational. I mean, hundreds of years that they've had this connection through this demon because, a woman in the past sort of, bargained a deal, right? And so all the future generations of, and particularly the women of the family, are just having to deal with this connection of this demon, and they do everything that they can to not birth men, because if they give birth to a son, then this demon will be reborn. And oh gosh, I don't even know what else to say without, I don't want to say too much because they're short stories, right? So this has definitely some, I would say, some folk horror type of vibes, definitely dealing with this demon and gods, a bit of supernatural, and then just the familial tie, like what would you do to like really like not have this demon come into the world. Very strange, creepy, scary. Oh gosh, it was just so good. It was so good, you guys. I loved it so much. Probably my favorite of the collection. So that's the general overview of each story. Pardon any rumbling and bumbling, because I just finished this story this morning. And I made my way slowly through this, just reading a story a day, and I liked doing that. It gave me time to really sit with each story and really kind of digest it and think about it. So I've rambled a bit here, but I would just want to say that I can't recommend this enough. If you were in for a dose of strange, a dose of unnerving and terrifying, with some really kind of strong female characters, interesting settings, give this one a go. She Said Destroy by Nadia Bulkin. Stellar collection. Highly recommend. That's going to do it for me today. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I always appreciate your time, and I'll catch you in the next one. All right.